Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about the next Call of Duty game. The cycle of information, hype, whatever is starting very early this year. Sledgehammer recently announced that they're going to be developing the next Call of Duty title. This may be old news to you, it may be new news. It was just a couple days old. A lot of commentators have already made videos about it. And instead of doing the normal ZOMG Sledgehammer next Call of Duty game, I wanted to do something a little bit more informational and pull some videos off the internet and we'll say speculation, but intelligent and educated speculation on some of the things you might be expecting to see. The gameplay that you're seeing right now is me at my absolute angriest. In the previous games, I was trying to get SVU gameplay, and there was this guy on the other team called Big Littles, if I'm not mistaken. He liked to camp a lot with thermal light machine guns, a lot, and throw IEDs everywhere. I think he had 2 of them on the class. It was very frustrating. Yeah, there goes the IED. So in this game, I got my submachine gun. I played very aggressively. I rushed very hard, and my goal was to make his life miserable. I think I did a good job. I died a little bit in the beginning, went on a very big streak on the end, but let's get back to the topic of the commentary. So now that Sledgehammer is formally announced that they're going to be making the 2014 Call of Duty game, whatever it's going to be called, which we'll get to in a little bit, that means that there's now a 3-year cycle officially on Call of Duty. It used to be alternating. Every other year was Treyarch or Infinity Ward, and now we've got Sledgehammer, so it'll be every 3 years, and this is a good thing, I think. That means they have more development time, because it was a really big rush to develop a new game every 2 years. You ended up to a lot of assets being reused, the minimal improvements to the engine, and just it felt like recycle, like Call of Duty 2K13, Call of Duty 2K14, 2K15, whatever, that sort of thing. But with larger gaps in development time, we should be able to get better, more original products every single year. And Sledgehammer originally used to be, or they were, I don't know how to describe them. Activision picked them up, and it seems like they're an outsourcing studio. They do a lot of work on a lot of Call of Duty games, but don't normally get a lot of credit for it, or, you know, the other studios take the, oh, this is published by Treyarch, this is published by Infinity Ward, whatever. But they originally they pitched an idea to make Modern Warfare 3 to be an action-adventure Call of Duty. This is what I pulled off the internet on Wikipedia and some other sources. But they had this idea to take Call of Duty away from like the gritty future shooter kind of genre and move it into an action-adventure. And they had a playable demo at one point back in 2009 or 10, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that guy was on the enemy team, and there was a very staunch legal disagreement going on at the time between Vince Zampella and the Infinity Ward team, and then this came in there and they kind of wanted to co-op the project, and this is one of several things that instigated Team Respawn, which develops Titanfall, which you'll see later in the coming week, to split off and make their own studio. And Sledgehammer ended up having to make Modern Warfare 3 with Infinity Ward with like half the time as normal. They had just way less time. So there was a lot of Sledgehammer work in Modern Warfare 3 and probably in Ghost. I'm not sure if they're credited for it or not because I haven't checked because I'm lazy, but they did do a lot of work on it. There is something scary about the development process that I don't very much like. If you go to the Sledgehammer Games website, they're hiring for a lot of positions. There's VFX artist, there's multiplayer designer, there's vehicle modeler, there's a weapon designer, there's I apologize, I'm a little bit sick right now. There's about 20 different positions open on their website for you to go and apply jobs to, and they seem like they would be very important jobs on a team, but you do have to realize it's a very big organization, it's a very big team, and they may currently have people in these jobs that'll be leaving soon. They may simply just want to expand for the next Call of Duty 3 years from now, and it may not have much impact on the current Call of Duty game, but it does worry me if they're a little bit short-staffed and developing a Call of Duty game. That could not be good. There is something I think is definitely true. This is a speculation, but I would say it's a very educated one. I would doubt that the next Call of Duty is going to be next-gen only. Even by the time November gets here, there's not going to be enough people that own the next-generation consoles, being the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And please don't lecture me about the Wii. The Wii is like 0.5% of the Call of Duty market, and I know there's some very hardcore Wii players out there, but that's just not what the games are developed for. But I don't think that any of the Activision will want their game to be next-gen only if the sales are going to be low. It'll probably be another cross-generational game, so you can still play on 360 and PS3 along with Xbox One and PS4. Me personally, I think this is a bad thing, but then again, I'm one of those guys that gets all this stuff early. So I've got my X1, my PS4, my computer. I'm ready for true next-gen Call of Duty. I'm tired of cross-gen. I want to see what we can do when we don't have to support old platforms and consoles, but some of you will probably hate that. Because of this, and because of the limited development time cycle, and also because I don't think Sledgehammer does a lot with the game's engines, just the assets mostly, I would assume that it still runs on the same old Quake engine that's been heavily modified, which I think they call it the IW engine or the Treyarch engine or whatever 4, 5, 6.0 we're up to in Call of Duty Ghosts. And considering how closely they work with Infinity Ward, and the fact that the IW engine is the most updated for the new consoles that I'm aware of that's been publicly made available, I would wager that the engine, maybe even some of the gameplay like leaning and sliding, is going to be very similar to Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't think that would be too much of a logical step, something unreasonable or unexpected if the engine was similar to Call of Duty Ghosts, considering how close they work and all those sort of things. J-Hub actually made a logical point the other day. I was talking to him. He was talking about since they're a new studio and they probably have limited development time, they might not be trusted on their own thing, or we're not entirely sure. It could be a season for a Call of Duty remake. They could kind of give them a, let's update Modern Warfare 2, let's do COD 4 remix, let's do something COD Online, let's do something that's not quite a full Call of Duty game, but more like a fan throwback, which leads me into the next title being Black Ops 3. This was supposedly leaked online, a couple of retailers and several other places, that Black Ops 3 is going to be the next Call of Duty game. I personally don't believe it at the moment because that's a Treyarch game. I don't think Treyarch would hand their series over to we'll say, fledgling Sledgehammer to finish up, but you never know. It could be a corporate decision. It could have come from top down. We don't know. It's possible, but I'm just totally not feeling it right now. On the bright side of things, because I know I've been mostly negative in this commentary, the ability to have a new studio to just jump in and make the new Call of Duty game means that there is again hope for the series. There is hope to do something totally new. You could reinvent Call of Duty. You could do something vibrant, different, something crazy, something never been thought of before, which goes back to their old action-adventure idea. It could be the best thing to ever happen to Call of Duty. Maybe, or maybe they could just bugger it up really bad and it would be an awful game, or maybe they'll do something inventive and be like, wow, why did we never think about this before? Sledgehammer, you guys are awesome, please have my babies, have all of my babies, Sledgehammer. We don't know. There goes that remote in slow motion. That was a pretty cool kill cam. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, I hope you learned something useful, and I hope you found my speculations at least somewhat enlightening. Drifter out.